Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Shilpa Data Insights.
You are a chief product officer at a startup, the decisions that you take has a high chance that it can make or break your entire company. The growth happens in a way that you start building products that are impacting lots and lots of people. As a product manager, your success is rarely your own, or your success is rarely created only by you. AI will play a big part in our day-to-day lives, right? Either in terms of making us productive or helping us to think better or helping us to articulate better or talk better, whatever. Since I'm a senior product manager, the good range is from
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Shilpa Data Insights. So, today we have a very special guest joining us, someone who has a perfect blend of product thinking, customer experience, user experience, and real world experience. Please join me in to welcome Shiva Prasad, an experienced product manager who has worked across multiple teams and domains and built impactful products and build the complete product at scale. Shiva has an expertise in the product thinking, customer experience, testing, functional collaboration, and making the data driven decisions. In today's conversation, we will be looking forward how exactly he transitioned into the product manager role, and he will help us in guiding how freshers can also go into this particular role without any hesitation. What all things will be required in order to become a product manager, and also we will be covering how exactly AI is changing the role of product manager. And stay tuned till the end to go ahead and get all the insights from Shiva Prasad, who is our special guest today. So let's welcome Shiva. Thank you so much for joining, Shiva Prasad, for this particular podcast. I'm really happy to be with you, and we will get a lot of insights, I'm quite sure. So, before we start, I just want you to give an introduction to our audience, like what exactly roles that you are doing, and
Mhm.
like whatever you feel like.
Definitely. But first of all, thank you for having me, Shilpa. I did go through all the videos. I mean, not all the videos, but I did go through your YouTube channel, and I'm, glad to be, sharing the time with you today. About myself, I graduated college, my undergrad in 2014. Right, straight out of college, I joined Capgemini as a software test engineer, and I was doing that role for around 2.5 to 3 years, and then I moved into product management. Right. So the exact switch happened in my second company, where I think my managers got fed up with me pestering them about this new role, or they were gracious enough to offer me that role. Right, but that is where the move happened. While I was a software test engineer, right, there was this person who was playing the role called product owner or business analyst, something along those lines. So they were telling me and my team, the testing team, what needs to be done. Basically, hey, this is what you have to test. This is what we are expecting from you as a testing team. This is what the application should do, and things like that, right? Uh, you know, After playing the testing role for quite some time, right? After 2.5 years, I started asking, or I started thinking to myself, why is this person, or why is the person who is playing this role telling me what to do? Right? They are not the users. We are building an application who is being used, which is being used by somebody else, not this person. But why is this person telling me what to do? So I that got me curious, and then I came to know that this person is talking to the actual people who are using the application that we were building, right? So they are uh, a mirror of the users of sort, right? They are the voice of the users to the internal teams. They talk to the users, they understand their pain points, and then they tell that to us, right? They are acting as a medium so that the actual users and the teams that are building the product which is being used by the users are always in sync. This person is being the bridge for communication between these two parties, right? I found that role a bit fascinating, and I wanted to, do that role. Basically, hey, I want to be that role. I want to be the person who is talking to everybody who is involved, right? That is how the spark happened, right? This is interesting. This role seems cool. I want to do it, right? That is how the mind shift started. And then when I started talking to the people who are actually playing that role, I understood that there is a lot more to it. It is not as easy as it seems, right? So that is when I got more and more intrigued, and as luck would have it, my second company, the managers then gave me that opportunity to play this role, right? Back then it was called, or in that company it was called product owner, right? And I started playing that role. I started learning from the seniors in those roles, and then that is the move, and that is how it all happened. And from there, it's been 8.5 years now since I started playing this product role.
That's a long
Uh,
time. So yeah, it's good to know because it's a very long time. So when you were in the testing field and then you moved, like any skill set helped you in moving into this, or the skill set is completely different in a product management role?
I wouldn't say so. Being from testing team, I think I had a good leverage to play this role, right? Because I, uh, in a way, knew how the users will use the product, right? I know how the functionality is, and I know how a real user might use that particular product, right? Which is which is a good stepping stone to understand the user behavior, right? And being a product manager, that is the most important thing that you have to do to understand how the users are using your product in their day-to-day lives, right? Or whichever problem they are trying to solve, how your product is helping them, right? Being a tester, I was like 10 to 20% already in that path, right? I knew the test cases, I know how the functionality is supposed to work, I know what is happening, and I know what should not be done with the application also, right? So that gave me an edge, I would say. So I wouldn't say it is totally new set of skills, but there is a lot more to the role of product manager than what meets the eye. So being a tester was definitely a helpful skill, helpful stepping stone to this role.
Okay, okay. So you talked about product owner and business analyst and product manager. Like those are very interrelated terms, I think, but like what exactly is the difference between them?
Uh, you have to be very nitpicky to understand the difference, right? I wouldn't say there is much. Uh, Within an organization, by the rules that the organizations that they set, probably there might be a difference between those two roles that the people are playing, right? But if you move a bit backwards and understand the goal of these roles, it is nothing but understanding the users and solving their pain points, right? That is the core of all the three roles that you just mentioned. So the title probably should not matter that much as long as the core objective of the role is getting fulfilled, right? As long as you are talking to your users, understanding what problems they face day in and day out, and understanding how your product can help solve their problem, right? That is what it is. I mean, there are probably a bit differences, in some companies, the people who are working with the development team, who are writing the Jira stories, doing the backlog grooming and things like that, probably they are called product owners, right? And I've heard cases where that role is called product manager, and who is owning the larger product or a portfolio is called a product owner, right? So these terms are interchangeable. The roles are interchangeable. It is up to the companies that are using them and how they define these roles. But the core of these three roles are very much similar, right? To understand your users and solve their pain points through your products.
Okay, okay, yeah. So it can be interchangeably, but again, the main point is to
Yeah,
you have to deliver something to your users. So that's the whole criteria of it. Okay. So if I talk
yeah.
about product manager, if you have to explain that to a student or who doesn't know much about IT and everything, how would you explain it
Mhm.
to a student?
Uh, I would say this role is a problem solver role, right? Um, in one of the my other conversations, I loosely relate this role to being a mother or a parent, so to speak. uh, you know you have to understand your users, right? They might not always tell you what they exactly need, or they may tell you 100 different things that they think they need. But
Mm,
you as a product manager, or you in the parallel universe as a parent, should understand what exactly is the need of this person, right? If they're your kid or your users, you have to understand what exactly is troubling them at that point in time. And if they are coming at you with 100 requests, you have to understand their motive. You have to understand what exactly they are trying to accomplish in that point in time, and then you cater to them, right? So that is how I would say you have to understand the intent of the other person coming at you. If they are, shouting at you, why are they shouting? What is troubling them? If they are happy, what is making them happy? If they are going, over the top in being happy, you have to say, hey, probably just take a step back and understand what is happening. So I would loosely say this product manager role is like a parent understanding and catering the needs to the kid. So yeah.
okay, that's actually very good because everyone doesn't tell you what is exactly the need. That I can relate to my like organization. When you come and you ask a product manager, then they can tell you in a very specific way, this is what we need. But maybe they have to go across a lot of things and get that particular requirement from the users, what exactly they need. That's so true. So if you talk about, there are so many meetings I have heard already in the product manager role. So like
Yeah.
how exactly your day-to-day activity look like if
Hmm. Okay. Uh, it depends. It depends upon the size of the company that you are in, and also the role, the seniority in product management that you are in currently, right? If you are a junior product manager, you might have meetings mostly involved with your team, or probably a team that is working with you, right? But if you are, principal product manager, group product manager, and or CPO, the level of meetings that you have, or the kind of meetings that you have, are very different, right? At that level, the meetings might be more strategic, right? Any decision that you make would impact a lot of teams that are working, under you. But if you're a junior product manager, the decisions that you make might affect your team, and if not, probably a couple of other teams. So meetings will always be there, but the nature of meetings that you are in will vary differently, right? There might be table stakes for a business as well. If you are a chief product officer at a startup, the decisions that you take has a high chance that it can make or break your entire company,
hmm,
right? But if you're a junior product manager, or a person who is playing a junior role in a very big organization, the decisions that you take might not impact that much on the entire organization, right? So it depends. It depends upon the scale of the company, depends upon the seniority of your role, and yeah, and things like that.
yeah. So let's say like accountability is too much for a product manager, it seems, right? So if you talk about
It is.
meeting
It
like
is.
yeah, if you talk about the meeting like approximately like how
Mhm.
much meetings do you attend on a daily basis?
Uh, uh, let's say we are, our primary goal in any company is building a product or a solution, right? Uh, if I am in a phase where I am gathering requirements, or if I am doing user discovery, and if I'm doing some competitor analysis, the meetings would be mostly external to the team. I will talk to the potential users. I will talk to some market experts, or I can talk to the teams that are putting or giving in the requests to my team to build, right? So I will try to understand what the users really want and why are they giving us this requirement. And basically it will all be around discovery of the particular problem that the guys are coming to us with, right? uh, if that phase is over and that my team has started developing the product, probably the meetings that I might have would be mostly with my team to make sure they have all the requirements nailed down, and probably with adjacent teams who are also working together with us for a particular requirement, right? And on top of it, probably I may work with some sales or marketing team with respect to some go to market strategies and stuff. right? Let's say we are way past that phase. We have the product ready. We are just about to ship it to the customers or users. Probably the meetings at that stage will be mostly with if there is an external party involved, I can probably talk to them. Uh, Probably my marketing team who is you know uh, creating campaigns so that they are going out and selling this product or marketing this product. Probably I can work with them to fine tune their language or letting them know that, hey, this is the exact functionality that you guys should go out and market and things like that. So it depends upon the phase that you are in the product development as well. So it depends.
Okay. So I could see a lot of collaboration across whole team, like you have sales, marketing, your product team, and then your designing and so on, right?
Yeah.
So if I think about like product manager is in a very upper role. So if you have to climb up the ladder, what will be the next
Mhm.
role that you would look for after product manager?
Uh, I mean, uh, to state some examples, the biggest CEOs today were product managers in their time, right? So that is one way of climbing up the ladder. Or if you have that fire in you, probably you can become an entrepreneur. You can set up your own thing, and you can do that, which eventually is again becoming a CEO kind of stuff, right? But the growth happens in that scale, right? The growth happens in a way that you start building products that are impacting lots and lots of people, right? You start from a small functionality, and then you grow into a particular area of a product, and then you own a product, and then probably a couple of other products, and then eventually the entire company, right? So that is how it will go.
Okay, yeah, that
Yeah,
that's an like a broader picture that
yeah.
actually is there. So that's great to know. So if I talk about like you have to collaborate a lot of people, teams and everything. So what exactly tools you use to actually document everything and keep a track of
Mhm.
everything basically?
Okay. Um, as you rightly pointed out, this role is a highly collaborative role, right? As a product manager, your success is rarely your own, or your success is rarely created only by you,
Yeah.
right? You can give all the requirements in the world to your development team, but at the end of the day, you have to bank on your team to get something done, right? You have to influence them without any authority, right?
Mm.
So when you have these many people involved, you have to have tools that are keeping them every step of the way in sync, right? So you have to let them know that these are the requirements. They should be able to see that requirements all in one place, right? And as a product manager, you cannot go in and change the requirements day in and day out, right? If you do, the developers should be able to say, hey, this guy said something yesterday and this guy is telling something entirely different today, right? They have to have a proof.
Yes.
So what I meant to say is there has to be a place where you write down all the requirements that you have, and if you happen to change it for some reason, that particular tool should be able to say, hey, this person changed so and so in this date, right? Some
Mhm.
version controlled documentation tool,
Okay.
right? In across most of my companies, I used Jira and Word documents, right? But that is one part of the story, right? That is, probably in the middle of your product development phase. But before requirements are being solidified, you have to work with your team. You have to work with your users to understand what the requirements are. You have to sit with your team to brainstorm all the requirements and, come up with various solutions in the first place and then boil it down to one place. So some sort of brainstorming tool with your team, probably like Miro or Figma, things like that you can use. And what else is there? So when you are talking to your users, right, who in most cases are outside your company, so you have to have meetings with them. You have to record all those meetings, and then if there is an ability to take the transcript out of those meetings, that is also a really valuable tool for you when you are doing your discovery as a product manager, right? You can use those transcripts and say, hey, okay, this person said that so and so is troubling them, right? So that is a requirement, or that is a pain point that you as a product manager could solve. right? So some sort of a meeting tool that transcribes you that entire conversation, right? So
Okay.
these are all the backbone or the non-negotiables of being
Yeah.
a product manager, right? In the product manager's arsenal.
So when you switch to product manager, did anyone help you to use like Jira or any other tool like to use this or whatever is the company standards you usually use them?
Uh, Definitely did. The product managers who are working day in and day out, they know the hacks, right?
Okay.
But none of the tools were completely new to me
Hmm.
because when I was switching, I switched within the same company, so I kind of knew the tools that they were already using. But if you are doing a particular thing day in and day out, you will have ways to do the things quicker. Right, so those were some hacks that I should say I copied from people. So I asked them, hey, what is that you did now? Can you tell me what that is? So they were kind enough to say, hey, this is what it is, and this is how you should do, and this will save you time and things like that. But my journey into product management, as a career and as tools and things like that, I definitely did receive a lot of help in terms of mentorship and in terms of hand holding. I did bank upon a lot of people who helped me for me to grow into this place.
Yeah,
Right.
that's really good because I think everyone needs a mentorship, right? I also have a mentor to actually grow in the field. So if I talk about, let's say, what was your favorite part? What's your favorite part right now in product management?
Okay. The the accountability, I should say, right? The feeling that any decision that you might make will have an impact on somebody, right? If you happen to put out good products, people will feel happy, and uh, people will advocate for your product, right? You will become one with their lives if you happen to solve the problem beautifully, right? On the flip side, if you happen to build a bad product, right, people will also won't forget you because the it will be that bad that people will start hating you, right? So uh,
Mm,
jokes aside, the accountability, right, it that is the trait that I'm enjoying currently the most, because the decisions that uh, as a product manager I am forced to take, or I have to take, has some degree of repercussions down the line. So I have to make sure that, hey, I consider all the variables that are involved. I talk to a lot of people to make sure that I am seeing things that otherwise I might miss. So being that extra careful in taking those decisions and having that accountability is something that I am really enjoying in my role.
okay, that sounds great actually. I think every role had accountability, but I think product manager roles is too much of accountability, what I know. But so
I
if
mean, I mean, we are in that line, right? So because a lot of people are looking, I wouldn't say looking up to you, but a lot
yeah,
of people's work banks on your direction, so to
right,
speak. So
right.
you have to make sure that you put the best foot forward. I mean, things might go wrong, but you have to have the confidence on yourself and the process that you follow to say, hey, I did everything right up until this point, but something along the way was missed. I'll probably cover it in next time. So
Okay.
that is what
Okay.
it is.
Okay. I think transparency is also here, the key point that you are
Yeah,
mentioning. Okay.
yeah.
So if let's say a fresher is here and the fresher wants to join into a product manager role, is it possible?
It is. It is. Yes. I don't think there is a experience barrier to come into this role, right? Or you need. I don't think you even need to have this title to play this role. As long as you put your users right, left, right, and center, you understand the product from their lens, or you try to walk into their shoes and then see how they are interacting with your product in their environment, right? They might not use the product in the same way that you wish that they use, right? So you have to completely go to the other side of the screen into their shoes and then understand what is happening, where is the problem, or how beautifully am I solving this problem. It goes both ways. So uh, if you are able to think in those lines, irrespective of the title that you hold, you can say that, hey, I am playing the product manager's role. But product manager is just a title. But if you can also be a software test engineer. If you start asking questions to whoever is giving requirements to you, like, hey, why do you think we should solve this now? Or what exactly is the problem that you are bringing to me? How is it affecting the users? Right? What sort of complaints are they putting forward that you are giving this requirement to me? So if you start asking those questions and start thinking those lines, you are already there. Title is just a matter of title on a paper, but if you start thinking in those lines, you are already there. So I don't think experience is a barrier.
Okay. So if someone is a fresher, or let's say he is an experienced person, but he doesn't have an MBA degree, is it also required to
Mhm.
have an MBA degree for this role?
I don't think so. I don't have an MBA, but what MBA gives you is some structure to your thinking. I've seen that difference in people who have done an MBA, right? There were instances where I've thought to myself, hey, this guy is thinking or this person is thinking really well, right? They have a structure to their thinking. And when probed into that line, they say that, hey, this is something that MBA primes you to do, or that rigor of MBA will teach you this, right? So uh, I'll say MBA will structure your thinking. It will give you tools to think better, analyze the situation better, right? But I don't think MBA is a necessity or it is essential to become a product manager.
Okay, okay. Yeah, but it
Yeah, yeah.
it gives you a streamline, like how you can strategize the things, right? So that that
Exactly, right.
helps. But I think that
So
comes with
MBA is more, yeah, yeah, go ahead.
saying that comes with experience as well, even if you don't have an MBA degree, so you can get that
Of
with
course.
experience.
Yep. So MBA is like skipping or I wouldn't say skipping. It's like just like fast tracking your thinking, right?
Okay.
Only if you be in the product manager role for, let's say, 1.5 or 2 or 3 years, you might have that type of thinking that
Mm,
an MBA graduate might have,
okay.
right? But I don't think it is a necessity, so to speak.
Okay. And if I talk about any technical person like software developer, if they want to switch, so they have a coding background, but is it required any kind of coding background for a product manager?
Again, no, I don't think it is required, but there are certain roles, certain flavors of product management that would be, uh, you know, that would require you to know, I wouldn't say coding knowledge per se. You don't have to write exact lines of code, but if you can speak to the developer in their language,
Hmm.
they will highly appreciate you as a product manager, right?
Okay.
For example, if you are a platform product manager, if you are able to talk to your engineers about the databases, APIs, schemas, and things like that, they
Mm-hmm.
would find it really easy to talk
Hmm.
with you. They will find it really easy to explain their problems to you, right?
Right.
If you don't have that, they should start from ground zero. They should every time when they come to you, they should first explain you the system, how it works, and then they should come to the exact problem that they're facing. But if you knew all that beforehand, they can
Hmm.
straight away come to you and say, hey, this is the problem that I'm facing
Okay.
in places ABC, and you would in an instant know the context, that you will be able to visualize the problem that they're facing if you have the background knowledge of that background technical knowledge. But I don't think you would have to write any code. And also with the AI tools taking over the world, I don't think that question is out of context now, right?
Right.
You can wipe code and bring out some decent prototypes into the market, into the into life
Right.
without coding at all. So yeah,
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's actually great because it will just help facilitate the things to explain it to the developers, and that makes sense that developers will be doing it. You just have to communicate it to them. So that's great.
exactly. Yeah.
So if you talk about any book or any kind of certification that is recommended for a product manager to do.
Mm, uh, Honestly speaking, I've I've taken some certifications, right? I've taken some certifications in Coursera, Udacity, and things like that. But nobody told me to take all those certificates, right? Nobody forced me to take all those, or there was never a compulsion from a professional standpoint for me to take all those certifications, right? All of those were done out of my own curiosity, right?
Okay.
Uh, the bottom line is that I don't think there is any professional certificate that will help you become a product manager. Of course, there are certifications that would help you think like a product manager, but I don't think any certificate out there will guarantee you that you will get a product manager job, right? It all depends upon you as a person and the effort that you put in to think like a product manager, right? Certifications, again, just like MBA, they will give you a structure, they will give you uh, a very good snapshot of what product manager or product management is, right? They will teach you what you would otherwise learn in doing a job of a product manager. They will give you some background of what a product manager role is. But I don't think any certificate can guarantee you a product manager role.
Okay.
So I don't think certifications are that necessary. There are, I won't name any names, but there are a couple of standard product management certificates that are out there in Coursera and Udacity or Udemy that people can take and then understand what product management is all about.
Okay, okay. So now if I talk about AI, like AI is taking over the world. They are like de starting from designers, developers, everyone is using. So what do you think how it's going to affect the day-to-day activity of a product manager?
Uh, I don't I don't know if AI will take over my job, at least not now, but it will definitely help you as a product manager. I am seeing the benefits of AI in my line of work day in and day out. So as a person who is using it, I can confidently say that it will help you as a product manager, right? Uh, uh, Earlier, the thinking work and the grunt work would have to be done by you as a person, right? Now, with the AI tools coming in, you can offload some of the routine or the dreadful grunt work that you do to AI. For example, right, you talk to 10 customers, right? Previously, before all the transcription tools and things like that, you will have to probably handwrite all the notes of what the meeting was about, and then go back and read through all those notes to understand what was discussed, right? But right now, if you have the transcript file from your meeting tools that we've spoken about earlier, you can put all those transcript files into an AI tool and ask it to summarize each and every call, and you can ask it to list down all the action items from a particular call. It will do that for you, right? So what happens is the mundane work that you used to do as a product manager can now be offloaded to AI tools or LLMs, so to speak. But what it has or what it will not do is do your thinking for you, right? We should be very cautious to not offload our thinking work to AI. You have to do all that thinking. You have to put in all that thinking as a product manager, right? You have to go out and do the research, and you have to finalize what is good for you or what is good for your team and what is good for your users yourself. Definitely Perplexity or ChatGPT or Claude can help you in doing all this work, but you have to make sure that you do the thinking work, right? It is very easy to get lost in the world of AI and let the AI think for you, right? But you have to make sure that that is not happening, right?
Mhm.
All the grunt work probably you can give it to any LLM that you have, right? For example, if you run surveys, user surveys that you take, you can run all that feedback through an LLM and ask it to list down all the pros and cons or the goods and bads that the customers are talking about your product, right? You can do that, but uh, from the insights, it must be you as a product manager to validate those insights and build on top of what was given to you, right? So you have to make sure that you do the thinking and all the AI tools are enabling you to think better. So that is
Okay.
that is how I would see it. Yeah.
Right. So AI will just help us in like all the thinkings what you are saying should be done by product managers, and the monotonous activities
Definitely,
and everything summarizing can be done with the help of the AI.
definitely. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
if you see your whole journey, what was the challenging phase that you came across in product management?
Uh, Challenging phase. One of the challenges that we face as product managers is that there is never enough data to make decisions, right?
Okay.
Uh, you might have to bank on your gut feeling more often than you would like, right? If you wait for all the data to be present to make a decision, you might never make a decision at all, right? So
Okay.
at times, you will have to go with the gut feeling. You will have to talk to some people and get the consensus of the room and go ahead with the decision, right? Because you wouldn't have any data. The only data that you might have is the experience or
Mm,
the oversight of other experts in those areas, right? If something goes wrong, what the only result for you as a product manager would be to say, hey, I spoke to all these people, none of them flagged anything, so I went ahead with this, but unfortunately this turned out bad, right? So that it would come to that in the worst case, right? But that is something that I believe product managers at every level face.
mm.
So that is something that I've faced as well.
Okay, I think that's a very challenging thing, I would say. Like you have to go with a gut feeling, and because you don't have sufficient data to back it up. So that's really um,
Yeah.
it can go wrong, it can go right. If it goes right, it's good. If not,
Yeah.
then it's a haywire. Okay.
Yeah, as a product manager, what you can do is you can, talk to a couple of other people, talk to as many people as you can to make sure that you are not missing anything, right? You ask the question of, hey, what might go wrong? Enough times to enough number of people, you will reduce, the chances of going it bad to a very good number, right? You will have confidence of taking that decision because you considered all the possibilities, because you've spoken to enough number of people who are experts in that matter, and you've eliminated the chance of failures, or you've eliminated the chance of failures to a very small number. So you know, even if it goes bad, it is something that you could manage, right? That is the best point that you can come before taking a decision if the data is not there.
Okay. I can think of like in my school days, you have MCQs, you eliminate everything, and then what is the right,
Yeah.
you pick it up. So that's how the strategy works. Okay.
Yes.
If I talk about like the product manager for next 5 or 10 years, what what do you anticipate? Like, how will it look like after 5, 10 years? Maybe including AI, or the
Mm.
role is evolving definitely, but you are utilizing a lot of other things. So how do you foresee that?
Yeah. Uh, I see some changes coming in, right? For example, you know, a product manager, if there is a, resource crunch, a product manager might be asked, I don't know, I don't know even if it is a good idea, but a product manager might be asked to quickly whip up a small piece of code. That can happen. Somebody can say, hey, you have all these LLMs today. Why can't you write this small snippet of code,
Mhm.
right? That can happen. Or on the flip side, even the engineers or the engineering managers, whoever it is, probably they might be forced to, take the role of product manager because, hey, uh, you have all these LLMs today, you have all this AI today. Why can't you play the role of a product manager, right?
Yeah.
So I see that shift coming. But if it is meaningful, I'd be happy to welcome it. But if it is, force fitted, I don't think it would be good for anybody. So, but AI will play a big part in our day-to-day lives, right? Either in terms of making us productive or helping us to think better or helping us to, articulate better or talk better, whatever it is, right? I see AI being used to a good extent.
Okay. So if I talk about like freshers who are already learning AIs and everything, what is the skill set, like the most important skill set that freshers should learn if they want to land into this particular role?
Um, curiosity, I would say. uh, like you should keep asking the question, hey, can I do this any better? Can this be any better? Or can this be solved efficiently? Or can this be even more frictionless, right? You have to build products so that people start using it and eventually forget that they are using it, right?
Mhm.
That is I would say, artist, for me, that is the god level of product, right? For example, you have WhatsApp, right? I don't think people can now live without WhatsApp, right? So
Hmm.
it has become a uh, part and parcel of your everyday life,
Yeah.
right? So that is how the product manager should be. That is how you as a fresher should start thinking, right? How can I become one with my users environment, right? People should not even think that they are using a new product. It should
Yeah.
be synonymous with their lives, right? Just like a slipper, or just like a phone, or just like WhatsApp, things like that, right? These are all products that we are using, but without them we will definitely feel a pinch in our day-to-day lives.
Yeah.
So if you are a fresher trying to become a product manager, you have to keep asking questions. You have to be curious. What if we do it this way? What if we do it that way? What if we don't do it at all? What will happen, right? What is the problem? And if we are doing something, why we have to do it now? Why can't we do it later? Or things like that. You have to keep questioning everything that comes your way, right? For the good and for the bad, right? Sometimes the questions that you ask might slow down your team, right? But you will learn that, hey, I should not ask these sort of questions because people are being affected by it. So you will learn eventually, but you have to keep asking questions to learn more about the technology, the products, the people, and the ecosystem and everything, right? So be curious is what I would say.
Okay, that's a very good thing. Like it's really amazing to know that a product manager's most important skill set is curiosity. And the WhatsApp thing that you mentioned, like really, like we are using WhatsApp and we don't even remember that we are using it on the phone. So that's really good
Yeah.
example that I could see. So if you talk about if the fresher is going to this particular role, what kind of a salary they should expect in the beginning, and if they are fresh, not fresher, they are experienced, then what kind of salary bracket they would expect?
Mm, there is no correct answer for this, Shilpa. I would be definitely in trouble if I give out some numbers. But there are some benchmark, there are some good studies that are done in the Indian ecosystem to understand the salary range of product managers, right? Because salary is made up of a lot of factors, right? You have ESOPs, you have stocks, and things like that, right? And if you are joining a very big company, you might get a very high salary, right? If you're joining a startup that is just up and coming, you might have a very different salary structure. So I don't think I am qualified enough to answer that, but there are very good surveys that were done by credible people with real salaries from real product managers. I think if you are curious enough, you will find that survey somewhere.
Okay.
So to put a number, if since I'm a senior product manager, the good range is from 35 to 50, 55 lakhs per annum. That is a good range. I know it is a very big range, but senior product manager is a very is a title that spans across a lot of years of experience. So that is why I said that number. Again, it depends upon the type of company you join in. If you are joining in a very big company that is giving out stocks and ESOPs and things like that, you are of course it will be on top of whatever the range that is.
Right, right. So if you have to say few questions, commonly asked questions that is being asked in product manager role, what
Mhm.
would be those few commonly asked questions?
One of the commonly asked questions that even I was asked is that, hey, what is your favorite product and why is it your favorite, right? And how would you improve it? So that is one of the common questions, right? And one of the questions that if the interviewer wants to slightly throw you off is ask a question like, can you tell me how many pizzas are consumed in a day in a city like Chennai or Delhi, right? So that is a good question that might come across every now and then. And uh, root cause analysis is one other type of questions that you will get. For example, somebody will come and say your favorite product, whatever you are using, is down for, like, let's say 2 hours, right? As a product manager of that particular product, why do you think that is, or what will you do, is a question that you might ask. Or they might tell you a generic tool like, YouTube, or product like Netflix, and say, hey, this is the viewership is down, or the number of people engaging in the comments are down, and as a product manager, what will you do? So these are the type of questions that you might get as well. And one other common question to understand if you have done real work or not is, people would ask you, what is the impact, right? You say that you've done all these things, but what changed for the user, or what changed for the company? If you had not done the work that you say that you did, what would have happened, right? So that is a type of questioning that you will get to really understand if you as a product manager have thought through the entire life cycle, right? You have to make sure that you are not working on something, put something out and forget it, right? You have to make sure that is being used, or if it is not being used, you have to understand why it is not being used. You have to make sure that you see your product through from end to end. When I say end to end, it is like right from the requirement is being written, from till the day that either the product is being used by the users, or your reviews tanked and you are sunsetting the product. You have to understand end to end, whatever it is,
Okay.
right? So people will ask you questions on those lines, right? For example, you can say, hey, I've ideated so and so, but the interviewer might ask you, so what happened, right? You said that you are done so and so in your resume. What exactly changed to your users? What was the impact of your work on your users? So that is a question that you might get in the interviews.
Okay. So if I'm creating a resume for product manager role, then what mistake should I avoid in my roles and responsibilities?
Mhm. Okay. One mistake is that the last point that I mentioned, right? You can write a number of things that you claim to have done, right? But the user, or the person who is reading the resume, should understand what was the impact that you created,
Hmm.
right? You can say, I've ideated an idea that has been into production, right? But you have to add a line saying, what was the impact? Has it brought in more revenue, or has it reduced any friction point for the users? Whatever it may be, right? You have to complete that story, right?
Oh,
You have to say, I did something in so and so ways, and as a result, something else happened. So that is a mistake that you definitely should avoid if you are creating a resume for a product manager job.
okay, okay. And if in case I have 30 days to prepare for a product manager role, what things should I focus on to clear that interview?
Uh, First thing is your resume, right?
Mhm.
Whatever you have written down in your resume, you have to know it like the back of your hand, right? If nothing in your resume uh, should be uh, I wouldn't say made up, but you shouldn't put anything in your resume that you're not confident about.
Mm,
So that is the sentence that I was searching for.
mm,
Because the only proof of work that you give to an interviewee or an interviewer is your resume, right? That is the submission of your work that you give to them and say, hey, this is what I have done, go ahead and question me, right? That is the
mm.
conversation that you are having with your interviewer. So they have all the rights to ask questions from whatever you have given to them, right? So they can start in the first line that you have mentioned, right? Your latest work that you've done, you could have written something in the first point. They can pick that, and they can run through an entire interview from that single line, right? They can ask, can you explain what you did, right? And they can explain, they can ask, they can keep going with a single line in your resume, right? You can run through the entire interview. So whatever you have on your resume, you should be very confident in that. right? Any type of questions in that, you should be able to answer, right? At least you have to meet the you have to give the confidence to the interviewer that okay, this guy has done something, right? It's just that he's not able to say it out aloud in words, but he has done something, right? So that is one. And if you are a fresher, you have to make sure that you are thinking from the shoes of the user, right? You have to always keep your users needs in mind whenever you are talking, right? uh, Even if it is a moonshot idea, right? Even if you suggest something crazy, you have to say, hey, this idea might be crazy, but the benefit is real, right? People will be impacted in this way. So you have to connect those dots and say, because I am doing something, the users will be impacted by this. So that is the story you have to weave if you are a fresher, right? If you are an experienced product manager, probably the questions would be around you know, the project that you did, the domain that you are in. Or if you are applying for a product manager role in an entirely different domain, probably people will ask you about how you you know, resolved a conflict, or how you you know, pitched your ideas to your leadership. What if there was a pushback from the leadership? How did you convince them, and things like that. So it depends upon the role that you are applying for, the experience that is needed for that role. But if you have 30 days, I would start with the resume. And if you are a fresher, uh, your resume might not talk much, right? So any question that might come to you will probably be generic. So you have to answer from the shoes of the user. You have to always make sure that you think from the user's perspective.
Okay, okay. So, how many rounds are there normally for product manager role?
It can range anywhere between 3 to 6 or 7. I've known people who have interviewed for 6 rounds in some companies, and I've known people who have interviewed for just 3 rounds, right? Uh, because the organization might be a smaller one, right? So
Mhm.
probably they might have one technical round, one interview with the HR, the screening round, and if we take that out, probably 3 more rounds, one with a senior product person in the company, and the second would be with an engineering counterpart to understand how they would work with the engineering team, and probably the third might be with the CPO or the CTO or the CEO themselves, and then they would end the loop there. And if it is a bigger company, probably you will go through multiple rounds where each round would focus on a particular trait, for example, product sense, or you know, behavior, or you know, product execution or product design, things like that. So
Okay,
it depends upon the company that you are interviewing in, but you can expect anywhere between 3 to 6 rounds for a product manager interview.
okay. And if you want to apply for this role, what is the best way? Is it a referral or from the portal itself? Like we have multiple portals to apply.
Yeah, no real answer. It depends upon your luck when it comes to this, right? You never know if referrals might work. You you will never know that applying on the job portal might not work, right? Uh, there are plus and minus in both, but if you are able to you know, get a referral, if that is a credible referral, and if you are able to convince that referral to say, hey, you know, I'm qualified for this role, if you can put in touch with the recruiter or you know, the hiring manager, it would be really great. Probably that is the easiest way, because that would reduce your competition in a great number. But I don't think there is any right way.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think I don't think it would be fair to say something is the right way to apply for a job.
Okay.
You know,
Because
you can.
for software development developer roles, I've seen like people do get a lot of calls even if they apply it with portal. So is it the same for product manager roles, or it's like you don't get calls if you just apply from the portal?
Uh, It is always a game of waiting, Shilpa.
Mhm.
I don't think anything would get you interview quicker. It is always a game of waiting. Even if you had applied through a referral, right? The only visibility you might have is to reach out to that person and ask, "Hey, what happened to my state? What happened to my application?" Right?
Yeah.
If you apply through a job portal, you might not have that leverage. But
Mhm.
apart from it, I don't think there is any. visibility into that process unless there is a high urgent role that you for sure know that it is high urgent role, or if somebody had reached out to you saying, hey, I know you've been searching, there is this role which is needs to be filled very quickly, give me your resume, right?
Mm,
Apart from things like that, I don't think you will have any visibility into the timeline. Uh,
right.
but if you are able to get calls like that from your friends or referrals that are people that you know saying, hey, send me a resume quickly, somebody's looking for a product manager, I can hook you up with that job position, right?
That sounds good. Okay, I think I'm good. Like, we covered a lot of things, starting with like what is product manager till how you can apply for it. So it was a really great insight for me, and I hope it will be insightful for audience as well. So thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you next time for some other podcast as well.
Thank you for having me, Shilpa.
Thank
Nice talking to you.
Thank you so much for joining in for today's podcast. And I hope you have got a great insight related to product management. And if you have liked this video, do hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share it with your friends so that everyone can go ahead and get benefit out of it. Do not forget to subscribe because I will come up with a lot more podcasts like this. Till the next video, stay tuned and have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you have a good day.